Did Adam Thorn actually find evidence that points to an undiscovered primate in Sumatra? I'm Chris Daly, and I'm here with Ryan Geckner.
What celebrities are disclosing their experiences with supposed non-human intelligences? And what new species was found off the Pacific coast of Costa Rica? This is Headlines from the Beyond. All right, everybody, welcome back to this week's edition of Headlines from the Beyond. So to kick us off, we've got an update from Adam Thorn's expedition looking for the orang pendek in Sumatra.
This is becoming a series for
Yeah,
us.
it
Kind of like
is.
Three Eye
It
Atlas all
is
over
a
again.
little bit. I mean, he's posting a lot of stuff. He seems like a cool dude, so I think he's worth paying attention to.
Maybe we can get him on the
That
podcast.
would be super cool. Maybe we should try to do that. So he's posted two videos since he posted his last sort of update with the video footage that we talked about a couple of episodes ago. And in the first, he responded to some fan comments and questions. And then the second, he examined some hair samples that he collected during that trip to Sumatra. He got a lot of annoying comments, but also some good suggestions, including questions about why he placed the speaker directly underneath the camera. And he said in the video that he didn't even know that it was going to necessarily work. He didn't know that it was going to necessarily attract something as well as it seems to have done. And so he's like, in the future, he might try doing that. Now, the second video I think is the most interesting of the ones he's posted since. He went through all of the possible hair samples that he collected. And if you watch that original video of his expedition, you'll know that many of the things he collected, he wasn't really sure were hair necessarily. So there was a question with a lot of them about whether they were these roots from this moss that grows all over out there. And so he decided before he was going to send any of these off to be analyzed to make sure that they were all actually hair. And so he goes through all of those in a video. Several of the samples were, in fact, not hair. And he gets increasingly frustrated as the video goes on because of that fact. But he did suspect that, like he said in the video. Now, one of the hairs is very similar in color to the apparent arm in the trail cam footage. He looked at that and determined that it is, in fact, a hair, but he's not sure what it is. He compared it to lots of other possible wildlife hair samples in the region. They don't seem to look like any of those, but the one that it does seem to look like is an orangutan hair, which is pretty wild because there is no known population of orangutans in that part of Sumatra. It's something like 1,100 kilometers away to the nearest population, so it's not even close. It's pretty far.
So that could be a really cool finding.
That would be
If
super cool. Even if it was just an
it,
unknown population of orangutans, that
absolutely.
would be super cool. One thing that he does, and he's starting to get on my nerves just a tiny bit, is that he compares it to this unpublished paper that he's talked about in a couple of his previous videos. If you go back to some videos before he went on this most recent expedition, where he's talking about going on it, he talks about a paper that was sent to him that's an unpublished paper that includes supposedly unidentified primate hair samples that are from Sumatra.
So does he give an author's
He
name?
does not.
Okay, and this was unpublished and is still unpublished.
Yes. And this is from, I think he said, like a decade or so ago. So it's not like brand new.
So is it unpublished because it was not publishable, or
I
so
don't know.
there's no,
I
okay.
don't know. And
Okay.
he says in the video he's a little bit, if I remember correctly in the video where he's planning to go on the expedition, he talks about not having permission to share who wrote the paper, which in theory I'm okay with. In practice, I'm a little annoyed with because he's comparing the specific hair that he thinks could be an undiscovered primate to this paper that he can't share with the class.
But that's really interesting. Like, who would not be okay with their name being shared for some findings that they had from a scientific
Yeah,
study?
it's very weird, and I know there's been some research, and I forget the woman's name. I think she's a Sumatran tiger researcher who has had some orang pendek sightings, and I wonder if it's not hers,
Hmm.
but we don't know, and he doesn't say. But she is the most high profile person. I think her last name's Mayer. I'd have to double check. But she is one of the other high profile people that have claimed to see orang pendek and is a wildlife researcher. So adds some credibility to
And
this.
so, and could potentially be concerned about their name being attached to
Yes.
something that maybe isn't straight normal science or
Yeah,
well,
it's a little fringy. Yes.
mainstream
Yeah.
science, I should say. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
So one thing, so you mentioned that there were some comments in there from people saying like, well, why didn't you just put the speaker and such and such? You know, in his defense, and I don't know him, so defending him,
Yeah.
whatever. But that's 2020, hindsight.
Yeah, and he
And
and he really addresses that in the video, and he also he got a lot of comments that it was very apparent that people had not watched the whole video, that
oh,
they had just watched the segment where it's the
right,
clip
right.
there toward the end. He also got lots of really ridiculous comments about like, why don't you take 20 trap cameras and like all of this. And so he does a really good job of explaining, first of all, like why, just monetarily that's not necessarily feasible, but also logistically why that's not feasible. He explains like he is essentially where he went in Sumatra, he's hiking into the caldera of an extinct or dormant volcano.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly the most leisurely hike. And
No, probably not.
yeah, I mean, he's like, it's basically a vertical hike up till you get to the top and then down, a vertical hike down into the crater. So not exactly the easiest place to lug 20 plus cameras.
It's interesting because those are the same kinds of critiques that we often get on academic papers
We
when you
do.
submit
Why
them.
didn't you do this differently?
Right. Well, because I didn't. And why didn't you ask this research question? Because I
Because
didn't.
I didn't.
So I guess, everybody gets those kinds of comments.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So what's going on with Snooky?
What is going on with Snooki? Well, Snooki, along with one other well-known celebrity, have recently reported anomalous
Well,
experiences.
Snooky's been talking about this stuff
Yes,
for a while.
yes, she has. But apparently, Snooki is really into aliens and UFOs, and part of this is because she reportedly had an alien abduction experience when she was a teenager.
In the
So,
Hudson Valley, which is
yeah,
an area known for that.
yeah, and so on a recent appearance of Take This Personally with Morgan Hulsman, she talked about this experience.
Okay, so tell
I was
me
abducted.
what? You can't just drop that while you're drinking a water. Like, tell me what happened.
I just feel like I've always I was clearly adopted. So I just feel like I don't know, like growing up in upstate New York, Hudson Valley is known for UFO alien sightings, and I saw a UFO at 13 years old flying above my mom's house when I was in the pool. And I had like an experience and I woke up. There's a perfect hole in the back of my neck. And I feel like they tagged me. I know it's crazy.
Where, like, okay, hold on. Did that happen? Did you have that before, or did it just show up then?
No, I've had it since I was 13.
Now, apparently, like I said, I was not aware of this, but she's talked about this on previous podcast appearances, and explained that she only really listens to podcasts about UFOs and aliens and claims to be a star child. So I'm not sure what to make of that. Now, at the same time, James Franco has been in the news a little bit about some interesting TikTok videos that he's posted. He posted a series of pretty cryptic videos that appear to show him claiming to be watched by something or someone. He seems very paranoid. Now, keep in mind, James Franco's an actor, so he could conceivably be making all of that up.
Well, he could be being watched by
He
people
could
as
be,
an
he could,
actor.
he could. This is true. He could. Now, he reported that he went to his garage and had an encounter with an entity that will let him describe.
That's it. That's my garage. It's normally where I paint. I was going out there. It was night. I was gonna do night painting. And I go inside. And before I even turned the light on, I heard something. I thought it was an animal or something like that. And it wasn't. It was not. It was not a raccoon, squirrel. It was not a possum. No. I saw hand. I saw eyes. I saw glowing eyes and hand. I don't know how many fingers, but hand and speaking. I don't know, something coming out of a saying thing, hand, and that was it. I ran. I've not gone back in there.
A lot of the conversation around this video or this series of videos has pointed to his recent return to Hollywood after several Me Too allegations with his upcoming film, The Sunshine Movie. So skeptics suspect that this is maybe a strategic marketing ploy, and I think I am somewhat inclined to agree. I have a hard time really taking that one seriously.
I don't know. The TikTok videos just
They're weird.
they're weird.
And not in a good way. Like,
Right.
honestly.
I mean, a lot of TikTok videos are weird, but
yes,
this one's special in a way.
it is. It's
Um,
different. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, it happens to coincide with disclosure
The
and just all
conversations
the things that are
happening,
happening now.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think strangely I might believe Snooki more
I do. I do too. I do too.
because
Yeah.
at least she's been talking about this for a while
Yeah.
and has a lot more details and
hmm
so I don't know how I feel about that, but
Yeah.
all right. So I want to talk about a shark.
Let's do it.
There's a new species of shark that was discovered off the coast of Costa Rica, and it's actually a type of deep sea ghost shark,
So cool.
which is a cool name.
Mhm.
So researchers from Costa Rica's Fisheries and Aquaculture Institute, University of Costa Rica, and Brazil's Federal University of Pará worked together and found this new species. So they based the description of this on 3 male specimens that they collected from the Pacific waters between 2000 and 2023.
Oh wow, so this has been going on for a minute.
It's been going on for but 3 specimens, that's it.
Over 23
For
years.
23
yeah.
years. And these fish were found at depths ranging from 390 to 787 meters, which is 1280 to 2580 feet, far below the depths that would normally be reached by recreational divers.
Yeah.
This is down deep
Yeah.
in the ocean. And so they published the results in the journal Zootaxa. I don't know that journal, but I imagine
Yeah, an important one if you're publishing newly discovered
newly
species.
discovered,
Yeah.
right. So this is called the Rhinochimera costaricana.
Good
So it belongs to a little known group of fish known as long-nosed chimeras, and they are often referred to as ghost sharks.
Because
which is-
that's, I mean, they have 2 equally awesome names, but I think I would go with ghost shark if I was, choosing how to self-identify as a shark, I guess.
So they're actually, they are not technically sharks. They're related to sharks and rays, and they form a distinct branch of fish that has existed for hundreds of millions of years.
That's pretty crazy.
And so this new one has a unique combination of traits. They confirmed with DNA evidence it is in fact a new species. So that's cool news.
hmm
The other piece of cool news in kind of the world of animals is that the sand cat, Felis margarita, another awesome name.
Another great name. The margarita cat.
Margarita cat, yes, has been found in Libya. And that is outside the natural range, or what was thought to be the natural range of the sand cat. And there's a whole area where they are found normally. And these are, if you've never seen these, we'll link to a video in the show notes.
Mhm.
They look like house cats. They're the size of a house cat. And they live in the desert. They're the only cat that is truly adapted to desert conditions. But they've been found outside of their normal range for the first time. And that's pretty cool. So why on earth are we talking about these things on a paranormal podcast? Well, honestly, this just proves you never know what's out there.
Mhm.
So all of those cryptids out there, all of those people searching for those cryptids, keep going.
Mhm.
Because you might just find something and be able to name it something really cool,
Mhm.
like Felis margarita.
Right.
Or you might find an orangutan in a new location. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see these things happening. So thanks everybody for listening. If you hear a story that you think we should cover, please send it to us. You can contact us on all the socials. You can find us. And please continue to follow our stories of the strange and uncanny. This has been Headlines from the Beyond.